Welcome back to the home of Original Sports Perspective. From our couch to yours, this is your host, Jermaine Lockett, your couch writer, Raven. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate every one of y'all out there today. Today, we got to pass the collection plate. So if you have not hit the like button, please go ahead and do that. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. And when I say it's going down, you know what I mean. I'm talking about I usually post about 1 or 2 times per week, but I would love it to be able to post more, but that depends on how many people we got subscribed, how much interest we have into the channel. And of course, that just is all on you. So I appreciate y'all coming through. Today, we're going to have Kam Ru on the show. He'll be getting here shortly. And we're going to talk defensive line and outside linebackers, or defensive line and then edge. But that's kind of what I put on this thing here. Defensive line, outside linebackers, edge. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Who's here today? Big Reg is here already. I appreciate you. He said, I'm here ready to take over the couch. Okay. I'm with you. Oh man. So today it's been a crazy one today. So I'm just glad I'm here with you. This makes it all worthwhile. Just being able to sit back and relax with each one of y'all and just chat it up, talk about football. My first love before my wife, I met my wife secondly, but right now, if we're doing a ranking, of course she's up there higher, but still, I love this. This is pretty awesome. Kam Ru is here. He is here and ready to rock. So we're going ahead and bring him on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Actor and singer, probably going to be Grammy Award winning artist, Kam Ru.
From your name to Jesus is, God says, let's go, bro.
What's good, man? How's your day?
Good, brother. It's actually warm up here today. It's 60 degrees today, and then after that we got snow tomorrow and
60 degrees. Where you at again?
Huh?
Where you at?
I'm in Jersey.
You're in Jersey, okay.
Yeah, you down there with the good sun in Louisiana.
Yeah, I wouldn't say good sun. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you real quick. You got to see this. I can't even explain it. I mean, can you see that right there?
What's that?
That's a 10. That's a 10, sir. That's a 10.
Oh, it's 10. It get that cold out there?
It's a 10 right there. We in Nebraska, man.
Oh, you in Nebraska?
We're in Nebraska.
I thought you was in Louisiana for something.
Oh, no.
Oh, I thought you was
I hear.
Oh.
10 degrees, man. It was 8 degrees an hour ago, so it looked like we got a heat wave going.
Oh, okay. I'm praying. I got to make sure I keep you in my prayers.
It's so cold right now, bro. That's why most time wearing hoodies on that jump. I got the heater on right here. We send okay. We're gonna be all right.
Oh man. Oh,
yeah.
I kept thinking you was in Louisiana for some
10
reason.
degrees. It's killer. It's absolutely killer.
I feel well. We gonna get it tomorrow, so I'm gonna be paid. It's gonna be what did they say it was gonna be 20. It's going to snow. Drops down to 27 degrees tomorrow.
Man,
so might as well enjoy the rest of the day. After that, it's in the 20s until Thursday, and then it rains. And then
B-Red said he in Connecticut. It's about 60, and he says it's about to snow here tomorrow, though.
Yeah, I'm in Jersey. Oh, yeah. Who said he in Connecticut?
That would be Reg.
Oh, Reg?
Yeah, Reg said he in Connecticut.
We getting the same. He on the same pattern I'm on, so he's right now. You better enjoy, Reg.
Bundle up.
Don't even bother to wash your car. I was gonna wash my car today and everything. As soon as I saw it was gonna snow, I was like, nah, we gonna just take that out.
Well, let's go ahead and get started, man. First thing first, we got to talk about it. G-Ro's still here. Y'all got to get over it. It's just going to happen. Yes, we hired Godsey from the Dolphins, but that does not mean Godsey's going to be a replacement for G-Ro, at least for now. The game plan going forward, of course, is Harbaugh and his buddy, so we got to rock with it, folks. The next thing is shout out to you. We had 1,018 subs, folks, or excuse me, 17. Somebody left. They'll be back, hopefully. It's always that one who just like, you know what I said?
You in a good space. The tumbleweed is going.
Yeah, we
to build up.
Well, maybe I said that one thing.
Man, I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone though.
No doubt.
Let's see. So today we were going to talk about defensive linemen, kind of edge is what we're wanting to have a focus on. B-Reg says, yeah, he canceled that wash real quick.
For real.
All right. So in order to talk about defensive linemen, we want to talk about those traits of defensive linemen. So, of course, after doing a little research, whatever, I started to see some commonalities when it came to those traits of those defensive linemen. And, of course, number one is that quickness. You got to have that quickness, the ability to move in all directions quickly, good reaction time, and able to shed those blocks with speed, And sometimes that requires a bit of those hands in there as well. So you'll see that quickness along with the hands. You can't just move your body and not have the hands to go with it. I've seen even people picking up martial arts classes just to be able to be decent on defensive line.
Yep.
And then there's, you have any thoughts on quickness?
No, I'm just piggybacking on. I was getting ready to say some of the linemen, offense and defensive line, are both picking up doing martial arts on the side just to get their hands going. Aaron Donald is the poster child. If you didn't know, if you watch any of his off season workouts, that's one of the things he does do. A lot of hand movement,
Yeah, King Von too. King Von Miller did the same.
Yeah,
same thing. And then there was the next piece is flexibility. So of course, it's important when it comes to leverage and beating blockers. You got to have that flexibility. Sometimes if you look at Vaughn, he gets so low to the ground, and he's able to stay flexible as far as that bend to get around the edge. He's almost parallel with the ground sometimes. You're like, dude, how does he do what he does? He's very, very flexible. And I think that is something that, younger players need to go ahead and pick up on. Like, hey, as you get up there in age, take care of your yoga, do all those things, you're stretching to make sure you're able to have that bend throughout your years.
Absolutely.
And then the next trait is power. Of course, you got to have that punch. Got to be able to strike with thunder, explosion, and avoid, getting pushed over, getting leaned back on. Let's see. Another one was recognition. Of course, you got to have that awareness. Want to be able to make the proper adjustments in multiple situations. You see it and you adapt it. So the adaptability is key. Being able to respond smartly and immediate action. And can they see the matrix? I mean, it's basically what it is. You can see the matrix at one point in time. And I know we're asking a lot out of these athletes, but they're getting paid millions. So when you're looking at the character of these guys, you probably got to excuse me. I think wife just came. She just came in, or she just pulled into the driveway. You might hear some dogs barking or whatever. Anyway, recognition is the next one. We actually just talked about that. Recognition, and then the consistency. Can they stack one play on top of another? Are we seeing just like one-hit wonders? Is this Jesse Powell, or are they actually stacking album on top of album, play on top of play, and making sure that they put enough tape together to be recognized? What are your thoughts on those?
You want it, brother. I'm riding with you. I'm just riding with you on this one. Go ahead.
Cool. So the first one that I wanted to just take a look at, some of these are not in order. Like I said, I was just taking a look and I saw something. I was like, ooh, that's shiny. And then, and so initially, once I went and looked at a couple of D linemen, I just kind of plucked them out the air, and I saw good things. I saw bad things. One of them I saw was this guy named Dom Peterson out of Nevada. He's about 285 pounds, but here's the thing. He's only 6 foot. 6 foot, 285 pounds, defensive lineman. So the things, remember we were talking about those items as far as I actually labeled them on there as far as the quickness, flexibility, power, recognition, and consistency. I graded them like an A to B. I probably like the lowest grade I've been given out is maybe a C minus or something like that.
Right.
These categories. So as far as his quickness, I gave him a B. I gave him a B on the quickness. As far as his flexibility, I didn't really see too much flex, but that's kind of what you get when you got like a short, stubby, fat boy running around. And then the power, I got a B plus on. He can definitely push the pocket.
Right.
Play recognition. I'm gonna be honest with you, there was a huge weakness there that stuck out on tape for me. He kind of got eaten up when it came to facing off against San Diego State. Right. And then he fell for the RPO like crazy. It was just like he just went the opposite direction. You see him getting completely stonewalled once he fell for the play. So awareness might be a little bit off. And then his consistency. I gave him a B on the consistency because he had 109 pressures and he had 29 sacks through his collegiate career. So I'm like, okay, the consistency is there when it comes to making those plays, but it kind of reminds me of Diggs for the Cowboys. Like as many plays as he made, He also had a lot of plays off where things got like really bad for him in those situations. But at this next level, you got to wonder like, will he have to, even as big as he is, because he's wide, he's a wide guy, but he's short. Will he have to transfer to edge? Will he have to be on the defensive? Can he play nose tackle at 6 foot even?
Well, at 6 foot he probably can, but he has to. He's definitely gonna have to put the weight on because remember, Brandon Williams is not that tall. He's maybe 6'1", I believe.
Yeah, they about to say they call him Big Baby for a reason.
Yeah, but do in your opinion, does he fit our scheme? Does he fit? Would he fit in the scheme that we would run? In your opinion,
I think he would. I mean, Ray wasn't that tall. I mean, and the thing was, we didn't care about those prototypical attributes. Is can they play like a Raven? Can you create that pressure? I think the big key for me was that power and being able to push back the pocket. It's just they're gonna have to teach him a little bit of that awareness. Like they're gonna go through some drills and be like, all right, look, you need to seriously watch that hand. Watch the mesh point. If the mesh point is, if you think it's going one way, you need to make sure you know.
Right.
And I think it's gonna be a big factor for him going forward is being able to see that.
Okay.
The next guy we had, what did I say? Final overall for Dom was wide, short bugger, who as long as he don't get lost in the sauce, he can be very disruptive.
Yeah.
Kind of my thoughts on this guy.
Right.
But the next guy was Matthew Butler out of Tennessee. So this dude, 6'4", 295 pounds, nice pass rusher. He's lanky. He is a lanky defensive end. He gets stronger as the games go on. He's got a decent amount of burst. He can play multiple positions. And I think he was solid against Alabama with 4 pressures and then solid against Ole Miss. But his weakness was consistent pass rush, and then his counter moves once a contact was made. You can see some of him getting kind of stuck up in there. He's able to push the pocket. See, as far as the quickness, I gave him a B+. As far as his flexibility, that was around a B. Just not as it wasn't as flexible. You can see he still had some talent there. I want to say what's the other one? Power was more of a B-. I was still kind of like, we want to see just a little bit more power on him, and he plays high. I think that was another weakness of his. You can't expose your chest.
Yeah.
That you're going to get completely mowed over at the next level because at this level he's playing smaller guys, and guys who are probably potentially just like, hey, I'm going to be a lawyer anyway, so I'm not as committed to this. And if he's playing high against them, it's going to cause some problems. As far as recognition, kind of gave him a C. He's not one of those guys who just got kind of RPO. Play action really fools these guys. And then when it came to the consistency, I gave him a B. He was pretty decent with the consistency. He had 2 forced fumbles, 9.5 sacks total. He had 5 sacks in 2019, and then he had an average of 3.6 tackles per game. So I think he was a pretty decent guy. I think I could see him in the Baltimore Ravens defense with more because of the height. That bend is a factor. I put him out there, just like you said with Ferguson.
Yeah,
put him on the edge and let him work his thing out there. Maybe more of a definitely not a 0. Definitely not the 1 through 3. I'm talking anywhere outside of that.
Yeah. They definitely need to move. Hopefully they do. Like recognize that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Are you good? Who else? Let's go with yours. I had a few of mine, but we're going to talk about yours too.
All right. With my list, I went off of players that hopefully that in my head that are my favorites that hopefully we either get within the first 3 rounds. So hopefully a first rounder. In my head, because we are, this is my opinion, excuse me, because we just got a new DC, right? We want to give him a new shiny toy, right? So I'm totally after free agency is over, I totally think we're going defense first in that first round.
I think that answers one of your questions right here. This one comes from Calvin. So
with
the picks we have now, how heavy are we investing in the defense? I think
we definitely have to reinstall that defense. I mean, from front to back, if you guys had a chance to listen to the presser with EDC, you can tell that he was like, we need to get some playmakers that can turn the ball over for us. That that can get to got to get younger in the defensive line. He was talking about in the back end, but we're talking about front 7 right now. I'm gonna give you a couple of them just to run it down. I did, do the top five, but all right. I don't think he'll be a first round draft pick, but he could slide into the first round, and that's Arnold. I don't want to butcher his last name. Edabiti from Penn State, outside linebacker.
I think I had some notes on that one. Let me go over here.
He's 6'3", 256, outside linebacker.
Oh, okay. So
he had 8 sacks, right? But we don't want to focus on the sacks too much. Because you look, our boy didn't have no sacks coming into being a first round draft pick, and you see how dominant he can be once he puts it all together.
Yeah, that's edge rusher. I actually had different attributes that we were looking for in those edge rushers.
Yeah. He's. I don't think he'll be in the first round, but I definitely can see us grabbing him between the second and third round on day 2. But he's his PFF grade was 91. He was really a really good pass rusher. He showed up in the Senior Bowl. His run, that's what he has to really work on, is his run defense. He has good bend, good quickness off the side. You know, honestly, who he reminds me of, and I'm just to give him, and this may be too much high praise, but he really reminds me of Harrison because he's stout. You can see like the way his body is framed, that he could get bigger. And Harrison was like, James Harrison he was just a bowling ball coming at you.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Harrison was definitely more power than finesse.
Right.
See that?
And he's definitely like the fun fact. This is Michael Parsons. That was his old roommate.
Oh, okay. This is up.
Yeah, so the Penn State linebackers seem to be really tight. All of them, him, OA, all of them.
Mm-hmm. I was definitely impressed with it. When I saw the tape on him, I was like, all right, look, he's got good bend. Yeah. I gave his hands a C+. I feel like he needed a couple more hands move. Use those hands a little bit better. His persistence, I gave him a B+. Feet, I wanted to definitely work with the feet a little bit more. He had a B- on that one, but his burst, I gave him an A.
Yeah,
I saw that. I was just like, okay, very impressed with the guy. Like you said, he had 9.5 sacks in 2021. So I was like, all right, this is good. Good tape on him as far as being able to stack plays. He's got a some slight bend, and he has some really good special teams. I don't know if you saw those 2 field goal blocks. Looking at his tape,
I didn't see those at all. I saw what he did. Like I saw some of his highlights against Michigan, and I saw a few highlights against I forgot I think it was Ohio State, but also I saw him. I saw the Senior Bowl, and he was just getting that. He was in the backfield every time they tried to throw the ball. I think he had 2.5 sacks in the Senior Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
His last 2. I think he had his first sack was in his half sack was in the first half. Second sack, both of them went back to back, and he was just that different. He was different off that edge. Like he was giving the defense, the offensive tackles a lot of problems. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying. I thought that also speaks to his awareness. Just the way he's able to adapt and just weird situations that are not common, like the field goal blocks, and also being able to play with men that he hadn't been able to play before with, and be able to adjust that well. That speaks to just his adaptability. It'll be a great pickup by Baltimore. Right? And go back into the Penn State well again. I'm fine with it. Cool. Let's get it. What else you got?
Next one is always boy, and everybody got a mock that's going to us anyway. David Ojabo. So, I mean, he's still raw. That's what I do like about him.
Yeah.
Same as Arnold. Arnold's a little raw, but David is just like oh, he's both of them. They only played like high school ball, a little bit of high school, and then they went right into college and played football.
Yeah, it looks like he played 2 seasons, but only 1 full season.
Yeah, he only played. This is only his 1 full season. He had 11 sacks, which is great. Now, it could be a product because of Hutchinson, but it could not be at the same time because there's been times he's out there by himself and he's still getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Super fast.
Yeah, I like the 5 forced fumbles. I'm like, woo.
Yeah, he's super fast off the edge. The Joker's he was a track star. So a lot of people don't know that. So he's super fast off the edge. His PFF his PFF grade was a 90.4. His run, that's the only problem is that Mike would take him off the field on rundowns because he still has to develop in that way. So he's gonna have to learn how to set the edge, and his run defense gonna have to pick up. But he's 6'5" right now, 250. I can see him jumping up another 10 pounds. Same thing with Owe. Both of them are pure athletes. So if we do get a mirror and you want to grab both of them, and then also with us having hopefully Dalen Hayes is healthy this year.
Yeah,
That's 3 studs that you can really like rotate with no problem. Because Hayes showed a lot in the preseason. If this man didn't try to mimic everything that Von Miller was doing, because you can tell he studied him, because that bend coming off the edge, he would do that same swoop. He would literally mimic Von Miller. If you had an opportunity to see him in training camp or even in some of the preseason games, you could see he practiced that all the time to get that bend to swoop down like Von.
Absolutely. So speaking of Vaughn, his spin move is really effective. Most time you see Jabba.
I was talking about Dalen Hayes.
Oh, okay. With Dalen has a good first step.
If he can stay healthy,
and
we do get a Jabba. I'm just saying hypothetically, if we do get a Jabba and we have OA and Dalen is healthy.
Oh yeah, that'd be nasty.
So and then Dias comes back, we got a good rotation.
Yeah, good rotation is what you need. You got to have plenty of wind and plenty of effectiveness when it comes to that rotation. Sometimes, those top players may run out of gas, and you don't have that same consistency when you're rolling down the depth chart, trying to get guys blows and trying to get these other players in. Things I saw about Ajobo though: forced fumble monster. Like I said, we had the 5 forced fumbles, effective spin moves. Definitely needs more experience. It kind of reminds me of Pat Queen. Didn't have the experience that he needed before we drafted him, but we were excited because we saw one good year out of him. I'd still say, hey, same thing here. Let him develop. Keep him young. As far as his Ben,
hold on. I just want to piggyback off the Queen part before you go any further. I think as Ravens fans, we have to be patient because a lot of us are not patient with him, with Queen alone. He was never a Mike linebacker. He didn't play Mike linebacker at LSU. He was the weak side linebacker. That's why
he excelled this year.
Exactly. So be patient. Maybe he doesn't need to be the Mike. Maybe we should just keep him at weak and we get somebody, a running partner with him that can be that big body in the middle. You know what I'm saying? That could be that middle linebacker.
I agree.
It doesn't take anything away from him. Think about it like this. Think about Dallas. Sean Lee, Sean Lee would have probably been one of the best, if not the best linebacker in the game if he could stay healthy. They kept moving him from strong side to middle linebacker, but his frame is not built that way, and he will always get hurt. Every time Sean Lee made the Pro Bowl, he was on the weak side. Doesn't mean that you don't know the plays. It doesn't mean just because you're not calling them. He should still probably be calling them and let the mic take over, but him playing on that weak side, he excelled every time. Queen is diagnosing plays ever since he's been moved to the weak side, and he probably should stay there unless he gets to the point where it's like, I can handle it. I'll move to the middle, but he's great there. Ever since they moved him there, I think his PFF grade was like 93. Like you can't, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Put it that way. And even if Mike Tomlin's saying like he's playing like the best linebacker in the AFC North. And I didn't disagree with him, not because he's a Raven, but because nobody else's name was being called. So I think because we are spoiled and we've had so many great middle linebackers here since Ray, I think we putting too much pressure on somebody that he came in, and only played 2 years at middle linebacker. But playing a linebacker itself before, because he came to LSU as a running back.
Yeah, and it's just like he went in. Yeah, he went in because somebody went injured, and he started to shine. So I think we got to have a little bit of patience, but I think putting him at the right position is key. Having him at the wheel is the most important thing. And then I think another important factor is this year we're going to have an excellent coach at middle linebacker position in Zachary, or having him back, teaching that technique, teaching them how to take command of a defense, teaching them true leadership. That's truly going to help them big time. Let's go back over here to these comments. So we had a few of them. Let's go back up to Big Red. You know how he has those crazy opinions. Yeah. He says, unpopular opinion. We need to let Big Baby and Calais Campbell walk. It's time to use Owe as a defensive end and Justin Matabike as DT. We need players built for 4-3 or 2-4-5. What do you think?
I hear what he's saying, but Whereas they said we're not going to change the system. We always going to be a tweener. They've already addressed it in the presser, so it's good to wish it. It's not going to happen.
Adjust, yeah,
it's not going to happen. They're not going to do it. So Owa's still going. He's not going. They're not going to put him as a true DN. Not in a 3-4 scheme. Like he's not going to play that 5 tech. He's just going to be the outside linebacker. And from what it sounds like, I mean, again, from just listening to the presser, it sounds like EDC is trying. He didn't say anything about Brandon.
Yeah.
He didn't talk to Brandon. He didn't talk to Jimmy. But he's been talking to Calais.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've talked several times. So that's telling me that Calais may be back, if anybody. But I like Calais as I love Big Baby. Don't get me wrong. I just like Calais as a leader more than I like Brandon. He knows he's helped them. He's helped all OA. He's helped all the especially Justin Madubuike. He's helped all of the line. That front seven, all the pass rushers in some form or fashion as far as keep working on certain hand moves, keep working on this, keep working on that. Even before Justin Houston got there, they were he was the one that they were leaning on because he was trying to pass down that knowledge. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So you good. So D says Amar Barno, 6'6" D lineman, outside pass rusher out of Virginia Tech, who should be available on day 3. He's raw but promising converted linebacker. He at one point in 2020 or 2021 was clocked at 22 miles per hour. Was he pursuing somebody downfield? I mean, you got to be hawking after somebody in order to get that type of speed.
He was running in, had something in his hand for a touchdown. He's taking it
running from the police or something. I mean,
taking it to the house. But let me tell you my favorite, and I think that we may grab him at number 1 if David's going, because I really got a feeling David's going to wind up going to the Giants. Like he's in the top in some rankings. He's in the top 3 as far as outside linebackers. Yeah, John. Okay. And some of them he's like the lowest, maybe 5 because he's so raw. But he has so much talent. That's the thing. That's the crazy thing. And he's a crazy athlete. But the only one that's next to him that I think is going to be just as good as far as like athletic wise is Jermaine Johnson Jr., the one that we talked about from Florida State, the transfer from UGA. At UGA, he was an off-ball linebacker. He only played 1 full year at DN. But the kid, he has everything. 6'5", 252. He probably can put on more weight if you want him to slide inside. His PFF grade against the run is an 80. And his pass rushing, he had 14 sacks. I mean, he got the tools. How everybody talks about him, besides him being an athletic freak, he can play inside, he can play outside, he can play off the ball, he can play wherever you want to move him, he can move. And that's pretty much that's the Ravens. That's the only reason I'm bringing him up. And anybody that I'm bringing up, I hope we get within. If we do get him, I hope he's a first round draft pick, or we get within that, day 1 or day 2. But he's a monster, bro. He's a true monster.
Man, I see. There's a few of them I saw out there. I was like, man, I'd like to have this guy on the Ravens. Of course, when it comes to D line, I'm crazy about if at 14 this guy's on the clock. Oh, I wish. I hope so. Jordan Davis. I feel like if we get him, we win the draft easy. Jordan Davis, Georgia, 6'6", 340. That's number 99. Just big old disruptor.
Oh, we gonna grab him.
I need that. As far as quickness, I was like, dude, I ain't seen a big boy move like this since probably when Kansas City picked up that one dude who was running like a 4.40 as a defensive tackle. I can't remember his name. It was like it was a while back, long time ago, when it was a defensive tackle that was like 340 some pounds, running like 4.4, 4.540. Can't remember what his name was though, but Kansas City drafted him when they would every year they was like defensive tackles, like somewhere around that 2008 to 2012 time frame is when he was drafted. I can't remember. But anyway, Jordan he's got a big body, big run stopper. I had him as far as his flexibility, gave him a B-, because he's a big boy. But he has good hands though. He does have good hands.
Who's he remind you of?
Yeah, as far as the consistency, it was absolutely an A across the board.
Now, who's he remind you of though?
As far as I don't
who
know,
he remind you of? I know who he remind me of. Who that's why I like him. But who's he remind you of?
I think he's a special breed. I can't even call it.
Sonata?
Now, I guess you could say
that's the only person I could think of when I saw him. Ain't nobody that big, that fast as a dancing bear, man.
It's just not just as huge as I think he's bigger than Yada was, isn't he?
I think he might be a little taller. I think Yada was. He was about 2'3". He's about 340, but he was 6'5", 6'4".
Just
Davis was 6'6".
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this dude is a monster, like crazy.
He's definitely going. We gonna get somebody from Georgia. Trust and believe.
Yeah, Georgia
first and second round. We gonna grab somebody that got a ring. We notorious for grabbing somebody that got a ring. Yeah. We know they know how to be a champion. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The dude said he's going back to Ajabo. He said if he gets picked before George Kalafdis is someone I could be available and be a good consolation prize. He's been compared to Ryan Kerrigan. I think I had notes on
Kalafdis. Him too. He was the next one I was going to talk about. Yep.
All right, go ahead. What you have?
I mean, his PFF grade is 90.8. He's all around everything. Like, I wouldn't even put him at outside linebacker. To me, he might be a cross between a healthy Derek Wolfe and Ryan Kerrigan. The reason why he's compared to Ryan Kerrigan, one, he went to Purdue. Two, he squat like a monster. This dude's squatting 500 pounds easy.
Yeah, I like how he was able to push through contact. I mean, he had a lot of power, solid against the run. What's crazy is he'll destroy people from a 9-tech. I'm like, dude, you out here doing it from the 9-tech like it's nothing. Good leverage. He had pretty much burst. I loved to see the burst out of this guy. It wasn't as phenomenal as others, but you could see like he was going to push through you. At the next level, he's going to face a couple, bigger guys, but at the same time, I think it's still going to translate very well when it comes to this guy.
He also, if we did slide him inside to play D and to be the 5, he's the same size as J.J. Watt. He's 6'4", 275. He's going to put on, you always, after the second year, after the first year, they're putting on 10 pounds. Everybody put on at least 10 pounds. So I'm going to clock him at 285 heavy, unless he's going to play outside. Yeah. But he got the size. He's powerful. Every time I seen him rush inside, they couldn't stop him. He was putting everybody back. So, he definitely George is a monster. He's a straight monster.
Yeah, like I said, I had a B on his hands. I want to say persistence. I had a B plus, and then the feet change of direction. I had him as a C on that because I feel like he's a straight north and south type of guy. He's gonna power through you, but when it comes to the dance and stuff, he's no nonsense, just straight to business when it comes to that. So I think he'll probably have to work on a couple foot drills, whatever, to add a couple moves to his portfolio. But right now, his bread and butter is power.
That dude is violent though. He got some violent hands.
Yes. Did you have Drake Jackson?
No, I didn't have Drake Jackson.
Okay.
My wish list.
Yeah.
I didn't have Drake on the wish list.
He's a little underweight as far as because he's like 255 or something like that, but he's 6'4", great awareness. I mean, he can get underneath. I gave him an A on that bend because of that leverage ability. Good run stuffer. I had to put a note on there. I'm like, hey, this is a guy who will take your lunch money. Straight up take the lunch money, man. Persistence, B plus, feet. He keeps driving through contact, and he's got plenty of bursts. He had 5 sacks last year or this past season. He even had an interception and 2 forced fumbles, 12.5 sacks total since he's been in college. And then he had 25 tackles for loss, 103 total tackles on the season, not on the season, but 103 total tackles since he's been in college. This dude is honestly, if Baltimore were to pick him up like maybe second round, I'd be like blown away if he slides that far.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we snatched him. But other than him, we talked about Trayvon. As we go back to Georgia, Trayvon Walker. Yeah, he's another one. He's like he's like George. Like he didn't stand up. He played up and down the defensive line. Yeah, he's still got to work off his quickness. That's the only flaw I can see is his quickness off the ball. Like he's usually the second or the last person off the ball. but it seemed like it didn't matter because once he started, it's like once the train started going, it was over.
Yeah.
He's powerful. He's still young, and he's scary. He's only 20 years old, and he's just he's a street monster. His PFF grade for the run in the pass is like 90. So he played DN, he played nose tackle, he played defensive tackle. They keep saying he's going to be an edge. If he goes to the 4-3, they're probably going to slide him out to DN because of his speed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's 277. But if they slide him inside, he can get up another. How Aaron Donald's 280, 300 pounds?
Yeah,
maybe 3. I can see it. Like I said, it's always another 10 pounds, 10, 15 pounds is going to come.
So Donald, though, man, he built different. That man, whew.
That's why I like Trayvon. Trayvon is he reminds me of Aaron only because he's so violent at the point of attack. Like soon as he gets off the ball,
yeah,
I don't care who's blocking him or how many people block him. His arms are moving like he just like it's a video game. Like he just like popping everything down. And when he hits you,
mm-hmm.
hit you. I saw in the championship game against Alabama. He tracked down. I believe it was they threw a screen to the running back. He was on the other side. He can't. I mean, he tracked him down, and he tried to lay some wood on him. So he's definitely a problem. Bill,
yeah, Bill Stills, man. What's up, man? I see Baltimore Zone in here as well. We'll talk to you in a minute here. Where do you think we draft our first D lineman player draft position? What do you think?
We right there on it right now. Either first is going to be within the first 3 rounds. I believe it'll be like I said, it could be first round. I wouldn't be surprised.
If they said first round, I'd be like pumped. I'd be like, hey, let's get it. If they go offensive lineman, cool. But if they go defense, I'm pumped up either way because both are kind of needs right now.
Yeah.
Especially as far as that line. We're looking at our older linemen. Like I said, Calais may be leaving, may not be leaving. We don't want to sit here and worry about what his decision is. Just we need to be able to reload and rock out. Big Baby, I just don't think that's gonna stick. I mean, loyalty says, yeah, he needs to stay here, but at the same time, Big Baby may be like, nah, I'm not appreciated here, or maybe like he just hasn't shown up as much as we would like. Yeah, towards the end of the season, yes, but for the most part, the consistency throughout the entire season, we didn't see it from Big Baby. He kind of disappeared in a few games. So I'd like to see
get another big contract, and we're not going to be able to give it to him.
Yeah, we can't afford no more big money for the defense. I think Lunch Break Hot Take said it best. So when they, at the beginning of the season, defund the defense. And I think, I know that they meant something different by it, but at the same time, I feel like we need to build through the draft when it comes to this defensive line.
Absolutely.
So we said Baltimore Zone said, what up, gentlemen? What's good, man?
Mm-hmm.
And then Bill Sills had a couple more. He said, the NFL peanut butter is wild. What? Oh, he talking about adding the weight. Yes. I was like, oh my gosh. So he said that peanut butter. Yes, the trainers are sitting there putting mayonnaise on. They got people. They probably waking them up in the middle of the night, got them with peanut butter and celery sticks. Just like, yeah, you're gonna get this. you gonna eat this, player.
Peanut butter what?
It's like, look.
Somebody say Frank beans. What? Peanut butter jelly. What?
Yeah, coach. Like, all right, we're gonna take a break for a second. Y'all underweight people. Yeah, over there. Head over to the chow hall. Yeah, you're going to get it in. Bill Sills says, I'd be happy if they go D-line early and double down mid-draft.
That's going to happen. Look, whatever we get first, better look forward in the second or the third, especially the third, because we got – how many picks in the third? We have 2?
Yeah, I think there's 5 fourth-round picks.
It's 5 fourth round.
Yeah, so that leaves – so you said it was a total of 9, so there's 5 in the fourth. So that means there's probably at least 2 or 3 in those earlier rounds.
We got 2 in the third, one first and 1 second. We definitely got 2 in the third, at least 2 because we get it.
Okay, I got it right here. So we got 1 first, 1 second, 2 thirds, 5 fourths, and a 5th.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see. Big Red wants us to
move. Take it.
He said, quote me on this. If the top O-line isn't there, then we draft DB or we ain't going to wide receiver.
We're not going wide receiver. Reg, cut it out.
It's not a need right now. So they'll be happy either way because it'll be a game changer. Wide receiver is not a need, bro.
We're not going wide receiver, Reg. Cut it out.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, this is the first draft in a long time that we do not have to even look at it as a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Like
one
fans.
last dude that I want to talk about. I know we not going to talk about the inside linebackers, but this dude played outside. He played inside. They moved them all around. From Cincinnati, Dwayne Beavers. Darren Beavers, 6'4", 255. The dude is a monster. I mean, he can play outside linebacker. He can drop down to DN. They had him playing middle linebacker. They had him everywhere because he's just so good against the run. But he played most of the time on the edge when they were in pass rush situations. So just check him out when you get a chance. Go ahead.
Godson said, "What's up?"
What's good now?
Big Red said, "Don't be mad when it happens."
It'll be DB before he goes receiver, bro. It definitely. I could see us trying to get a corner or a safety. I could definitely see that.
Baltimore Zone says pass rush for defense, then corners, offense straight O line.
I keep forgetting about these safeties. Y'all saying corners all day. Everybody's saying corners. What about the
safeties too as well? We need that ball hog, man.
Yeah, we need somebody back there. If we don't get Deshaun Elliott back, where we going?
He'll scream if there's a wide receiver. Are you saying scream of horror or scream of excitement? We don't. No, I feel like right now the way that our wide receivers are set up between Bateman get another shot at a second year to absolutely explode because the chemistry he had with Lamar. Like I said, go back and watch that Minnesota game. You really saw those two gel big time. You know, there were just times when they just knew where each other should be at. You saw Bateman making one-handed catches off of Lamar, trying to get in sync with him, probably making a couple of errant throws, but Bateman said, "You know what, I got you." And he was there for the guy. So I say year 2 with them, Hollywood continuing to excel. Like I say, he's going to bring a little bit more of his hands to the game. Prochet possibly getting more opportunities there because we don't have that other person stepping on top of him, taking all of those extra reps. Duvernay still doing his little jet sweeps. I mean, we can still keep that going, but I think he's still evolving as well as a receiver. I think, honestly, with the way that he was playing, they actually had him taking more reps away from Rashad when Sammy was in the game. So I think Duvernay is still evolving as a receiver as well. I think giving those guys another opportunity still proves like, hey, that we got something there.
Our top 3 receivers are definitely Hollywood, Rashad, and Duvernay. That's definitely what I see.
Traylon Burks. That's not a wide receiver? Please don't tell me that's wide. Is that a wide receiver?
I don't know. Traylon Burks.
He probably is. This dude, I gotta go.
About it today, man. We said defensive line. Come on, Reg.
He want his daggone wide receiver.
Ravens draft thoughts on DL and OLB. Reg, it better not be a receiver, Reg.
I'll tell you, man. He
cut it out, Reg.
On his
Reg, cut it out, brother.
What is he? Traylon Burks, American football wide receiver for the Ravens. Get out of here, bro. Put him in the corner, man. In the corner. This man, he's just constantly going off about these wide receivers, and he wants somebody who plays like Debo, apparently. So I'm just like, no, man. Like we set it wide receiver. We good. We really have to concentrate on those other needs, those other positions, because if we don't, it's going to be one of those situations where
it's hard to find. It's going to be hard to find another Debo, man. He's unique. That's
he's one of a kind. You can't just build a Debo, every day. That's like basically telling, hey, we're gonna get this middle linebacker and teach him how to catch, because that's all he is. It's just a thumper.
He's a younger version of a Cordell Patterson that they figured it out early instead of they figured it out with Cordell Patterson at the last minute.
For real, I think Minnesota had something. They thought they had. They just didn't incorporate him into the scheme as well.
Yeah,
They called him Mr. Flashy when he was there.
We talking? Was at Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't. Nobody decided to use him at running back until Bill did it. Bill Belichick had him there when he won the Super Bowl that year. He had him in and out and using him.
The Bears used him a little bit, right? I think they used him a little bit there. The Bears,
yeah. But they saw the OG do it.
Yeah,
OG can do it and said it's okay. Mm-hmm. Keep on doing it.
I say ATL really, really lit it up with Cordell this year. I think that was exceptional what they did with him. Let's see. We got he's still on this. Him put him in the corner. He's talking Traylon Burks again, man. We go back to Bill Seals here. He's like, I'd like to see the Marvin Lil in the perp in black man. So let me see. I think I had something on Lil. You got anything on Lil?
From Texas A&M.
Yep.
Yeah. He played inside a lot this year, but I don't know if he should be at a 3. Maybe keep him at a 5, or if he's good enough to play outside linebacker. I don't think he has the speed. Like, you can have the size and the length to play outside linebacker like we have with Ferguson, but Ferguson is not an outside linebacker. He should be down and playing the DN, in the 3-4, and that's the same thing with Leo. He shouldn't be. I don't want him standing up. If we get him, I don't want us doing that. I don't want us making that mistake. I hope we, put him at DN, because that's where he's supposed to be.
I think I had something along those lines as well. So he played end and tackle, 6'4", 290. He had 8.5 sacks in 2021. Dude's interior pass rush was his thing. He had a good inside move, is what I saw. Very instinctive. As far as his quickness, I saw like he had an A grade. Flexibility, I gave him a B+. I mean, it was just, he was very, very solid across the board as far as his rates. And I was like, okay, I could definitely see him in purple and black for sure.
Yeah.
The power, I gave him a B. Recognition, looks like it was a B+.
Yeah.
Then, I want to say his consistency, he was able to stack those plays. This dude had 58 tackles, 8.5 sacks, and then 2 forced fumbles and 2 pass deflections in 2021. So I think this is one of those guys you're just like, all right, look, you bring him into Baltimore, we can mold him into what we need him to be.
Yeah.
He's very versatile. So
I just hope Mike. We don't know how Mike McDaniels thinks, and I would hope that he sees it before it's too late. You know what I mean? And I hope it's not too late for Ferguson. I'm still rooting for him, because, he has the talent. It's just that we playing him out of position. Brother, I gotta get ready to get out of here. Keep me rocking. Yo.
Hey, I appreciate you coming through, man. Hey, make sure y'all hit the like, hit the subscribe, smack that bell, and make sure you go ahead and check out Kam Ru, man. He's got a lot going on, so just follow his Instagram, and he will lead you to all of his productions going on, man. It's pretty awesome.
Yo, I'll see you Wednesday, brother. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too, bro. Yeah. So we're going to keep the party going here. So what I got here next, so I want to go back to what I was talking about before, and so we were talking about those defensive line prospects. I had a few of those. And for those of y'all just popping into the room, I just go over real quickly. Quickness, flexibility, power, recognition, and consistency are the things I graded on each one of these guys. I think I got all the way up to Matthew Butler. As we were talking, like I said, he can only stick around for just a little bit. But now that he's gone, we'll go ahead and continue to move into the defensive line. I got Corey Durden from North Carolina State. This guy was 6'4". I mean, just a prototypical size type of guy here, explosive. He was a good run stuffer. He had great hands, good awareness. He was reckless, but he just needs a little bit more control, because, some of those guys who are reckless don't have any awareness whatsoever. He's got a little bit of awareness, but he packs a wallop. He's a solid run stuffer, and he's got good hands. So as far as his quickness, I had him at a B. The flexibility, not so much. There's something about that height with the majority of these taller guys. That flexibility, that ability to be able to bend is not there as much. As far as the power, it definitely had it as an A. And then as far as the recognition, A. And then the consistency, can he stack the plays on top of each other? It was here and there. It's touch and go, but I still gave him a B. He had 45 pressures and 7 sacks in 2021. So Corey Durden, North Carolina State, maybe somebody to take a look at. Let's go back and check out some comments here, see what y'all got to say about those. So let's see. I appreciate you here, man. Thanks for coming through, Iron Addict. So a big trust. I'm late, but I don't like Chuck Clark on the field all the time. We need one of our linebackers to take over that role. Yes, I agree. There should be somebody there to be able to be aggressive enough in their play calling, or actually having that autonomy on the field to do what they need to be to get done. Let Chuck get back to doing what he does, because I think Chuck may have some free safety tendencies in him, and when he doesn't have to control an entire defense, he can be very powerful. Bless Brian is in the building. What's happening, man? Where you guys skipped at? I see you, man. I see you. What you talking about? Where you at? I ain't seen that up there. Okay, so you ain't get skipped. I'm looking for you, man. I see you. Yeah, you here? So anyway, let me move forward here. So we were still talking defensive line. Next is Ohio State. I wanted to go over to Ohio State. This guy is 6'2", 300 pounds. And, I mean, he's fast. He's athletic. He's shifty. His weakness sometimes is his strength, though. He can't handle the double teams and sometimes gets stuck on the guards, and that's Haskell Garrett. So as far as his quickness, I had him at a C. C plus, flexibility, B at his power at a B, recognition, B plus, and then his consistency because of his versatility. I mean, you can put this guy in a couple of different techniques and you would be okay. I gave him an A on that. Let's see. Wilbert is here. What's going on, man? So Ravens need to upgrade everything because they are elite like the Browns. Because they are elite like the Browns? I don't know if you're throwing a shot at the Browns or you trying to put us on the same as the Browns. I don't really know what you're saying right now, Wilbert. I think you're probably saying we aren't elite, because that feels more shottish and more along your lines of let's throw this shade in the room. Of course, I'm pretty sure the Ravens flock gonna get you. They gonna get you. Here's a hot take from Baltimore Zone 21. Geno Stone played decent filling in last year. I like it. I like Geno. Geno has good play recognition. I think there's a couple of times when I was like, hey, Baltimore needs a true free safety, somebody who's going to sit back there and allow us to play with that deep center fielder. And I think Geno is that deep center fielder for the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, Wilbert, I get it. You were throwing shade. It was Arndt. But I think, Cleveland is okay. They win, like I said, they win the offseason every year. But what do they do during the regular season? I don't know if it boils down to Baker, if there's other issues, but we ain't talking about Cleveland right now. We're talking about Baltimore. And when we come back this year, it will be a revenge tour for sure. And Cleveland is definitely one of those teams that we will not overlook. Moving forward. So we have Marquan Mccall from Kentucky. So this guy is 6'3", 358 pounds, run stuffer, has some quickness, surprising quickness. Like I said, when you 6'3" and 358, man, that's just, wow. That is just a huge guy. Not really a big pass rusher. Sometimes when it comes to defensive tackles, you're not going to get the glory when it comes to those D tackles. Like Haley Nada didn't get glory for years because Ray was putting him into position to clog some holes so that our linebackers could shine and stuff that run. And that's okay. Sometimes you can't get all the glory when it comes to the team effort. Like I said, together everyone achieves more. He's got some surprising quickness. He's a true nose tackle, but sometimes he does get caught in the trash. But that is so that others can shine. It's selfless play when I look at Marquan Mccall. So as far as his quickness, I gave him a B+. As far as flexibility, C-, just a big boy. He had 57 tackles through 4 years in college. He only had 1.5 sacks. Like I said, this is one of those guys that just doesn't take the glory, but I would love to have him on the squad simply because he takes that selfishness out of the play. So you got 1 forced fumble. He does all your dirty work. He's your guy if you were looking for that dirty work. Consistency, I'd want to see a little bit more consistency, of course. But like I said, when you are a selfless player, you're not going to have as much shine. And then let's see, Zachary Carter out of Florida. So that was 6'3", 285 pounds. He's built for defensive end at the next level, but he played a mix of defensive tackle and defensive end. He has struggles against the run. His best work is on the outside. And he needs to just gain a little bit of weight. Like I said, you got to go to that cafeteria after you get drafted in order to put that work in. So as far as his quickness, I gave him an A, really good. As far as flexibility, B. As far as the power, I didn't see as much power. I gave him a C on that one. And as far as the recognition, C+. There were some plays that kind of slipped past him. And then as far as the consistency, B once again. He had 17.5 sacks in college, 107 tackles. In 2021, he had 31 tackles, 11 tackles for loss. His best year was it was 2021. He had 8 sacks and 1 forced fumble. Then there's what's his name? Fedarian Mathis. Anybody know anything about Fedarius? Oh, let's go back to some comments here. I feel like I'm going a little bit too far in on my stuff. Care about y'all too. So Baltimore Zone says we need a 4th corner. I do not want to be put in the same position we were in last year. Yes, last year was pretty bad against the Cincinnati Bengals because of guys coming off the couch. Some guys just pretty much not where they need to be. There was a lot of speed, but not as much awareness. And having as much depth as you possibly can at corner, maybe picking up a seasoned veteran like Patrick Peterson, that could help the Baltimore Ravens. And picking up a corner, I would not be mad at. We'll get into corner probably on another show, but today is just about D-line, edge, trying to focus in that area. But I'm with you. Corner is definitely a need. And then, of course, the Darius Washington, I think him and Geno Stone are interchangeable. That's just my thoughts. I think they both have great vision, great awareness on that back end, and they take chances. That's what we really want when it comes to safety, is somebody who's going to take those chances. So, yeah, I think y'all are in agreement with each other. Let's see. When it comes to, I think we talked about Zach Carter, or did we? I think we talked about McCall. Talked about Zach Carter as far as struggling against the run, but like I said, his best work is outside. Next is going to Alabama prospects. I love my Alabama guys. I'm an LSU fan, but I really enjoy watching the Alabama prospects because the recruiters are just ridiculous, because all they have to do is walk in and say, hey, man, I'm going to get you a meeting with Nick Saban. Nick Saban walks in, I want you to play for me, son. And then actually, they're playing because of the fact that he has that championship profile sitting there at Alabama, and they want to be recognized. They know that they're going to be draft picks if they go to Alabama. So I think their recruiting class is through the charts. So with that said, Fedarian Mathis, 6'4", 320 pounds. Dude is nice. He's got good hands. He plays nose tackle. He plays defensive tackle. I said this is one of those guys who just blows stuff up. I didn't say stuff. You know what I mean? He's a bully punisher. So as far as his quickness, B+. As far as flexibility, and like I said, he's a big boy, 320 pounds. Who's going to be flexible with 320 pounds? If I put 320 pounds, do you think I'll be flexible? No, probably more than likely not. But as far as his power, gave him an A. Play recognition, B+, and then consistency, absolutely an A. 2021, he had 53 tackles, 8 sacks, 1 forced fumbles, 12 tackles for loss. He had 124 tackles total in college and 18 tackles for loss. So this is one of those guys who you would pick up and just start day one. Just big boy who can get it done. Let's keep the party going here. I had John Ridgway from Arkansas. This one I was pretty excited about. 6'5", 320 pounds. He has good awareness against the run. He plays through the whistle. One of those guys who just don't give up on plays. So, you sit here, you see like, hey, that defensive tackle try to get into the backfield, probably, got caught up on a draw. He's coming back around. He's going to pack a wallop when he hits you. He pushes the pocket. He wins at zero tech and in a 3-man rush. So just take a look at the tape on this guy. He's going to sit in front of your center and be ready to punch him right in the mouth and win big time. I'll push that pocket all the way back. As far as his quickness, I had a B. Flexibility, B. Power, A+. Like I said, be able to push that pocket. If you don't have a solid pocket, you can't step up the pass as a quarterback. So just keep that in mind. Let me just pause for a second. Like I said, do you guys want to support the channel? Just go ahead and there's a super chat, should be at the bottom. Also, if you take a look at, I want to say my side over here, right there. So YouTube does their thing. They make sure that they take whatever goes in the super chat. But if you just want to shoot a cash app, then like I said, it's right there. So I get 100% of that. If you do the super chat, I get 50% of whatever, 55% of whatever YouTube does. So just heads up. And then anyway, back to this guy. Ridgway is a nasty tackler. He sheds blockers with ease, and he started at Illinois State, and then he had an appendectomy. So this guy is a resilient character right here because he's able to have an appendectomy. Most of the time, when you see people have any type of surgeries, recovery times big time, and then it takes a while for them to recover. Big Red says, what about Kingsley Engelbert? I don't know if I have Kingsley on my list, but I tell you what, that'll be some homework that I go ahead and do on this one. I got to still probably, I don't know, 4 of the guys to go through here. So let's see. The next is Thomas Booker. I don't know if y'all know about that one. 6'3", 303 pounds. Good run defender, versatile, good first step. Pretty good with the quickness. As far as flexibility, gave him a B. Power, not so much, not that strong. As far as the recognition on plays, I think he's pretty solid. Gave him an A. B+ against the run mostly. Had 50 tackles, 4 sacks in 2020, 59 tackles, and 1.5 sacks in 2021. Like I said, when it comes to defensive tackles, it's not going to be glorious. It's not going to be glorious at all. Let's see. Big Red says, yeah, he was really good out of South Carolina. As far as I want to say, you talking about Kingsley. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll make sure I do some homework on that guy. Appreciate you, bro. Next is Perion Winfrey. I want to say this is out of Oklahoma. You know how Baltimore likes to go to those wells after DaCosta took over. He decided to go to the well of Oklahoma a lot, and it has paid off So this is one Perion Winfrey, 6'3", 288 pounds. Definitely needs a sandwich or two. He's pretty good in the 3-tech. He's a thunderous hitter, disruptive, relentless, fights through traffic. Weakness, double teams, of course. He just needs to add on a little bit more weight to be able to have some more power added to him. He's got plenty of power already at 288, but imagine him with a little bit more size on him, being able to handle that. So I gave him an A and a B in quickness and flexibility. Power, I gave him an A+. Recognition, I think I gave him a B. And he had 3 batted passes down in 2020. So I think his consistency's up. So I gave him an A on that one. 2021, dude had 23 tackles, 5.5 sacks, and then 1 forced fumble. So like I said, you're not going to see high stats when it comes to defensive tackles on tackles because of the fact that they're usually leading everything to your middle linebacker. Your middle linebacker is more likely going to be the one that gets the most tackles on the field. So it's not going to be glory days all day for defensive tackles, but you can still see individual effort from those guys and them being able to chew up a lot. So let's see. Baltimore zone. Is there a D lineman in the draft like Simmons from Tennessee Titans? Dominant in run and power rush. So there's a few. I think we talked about Leal already. But like I said, I was huge on Jordan Davis, but there was one that I was crazy about I think it was the OU guy or the Alabama guy. So Fedarian Mathis, or they call him Phil. So if we can get Phil Mathis, that'll be straight. Like 6'4", 320 pounds, just blow stuff up. That's just what he does. I prefer to have players that blow people up and also guys that push the pockets. So that'd be back to John Ridgway from Arkansas. Pretty solid. Go look at the tape on that one. His tape is just fun. It's fun to watch. Let's see your thoughts on UConn defensive lineman Travis Jones. He could be there in the 2nd or the 3rd round. Once again, another guy I'm going to have to do some daggone homework on. I'm pretty sure y'all talked about this one before. I just did not do the homework. Please forgive me. I'll make sure I have that one down. Let's move over here to the edge rusher. Like I said, things that we'd be looking for when it comes to edge rushers is that bend, hip flexibility, hands, persistence, feet, and balance or burst. I think I'd be another B that I'd actually add to that category. So if I had to go back over here, so like I said, we just talked about those traits of good edge rushers. Let's go back in. Let's see. We have Boy Mafi. I don't know if y'all heard about Boy Mafi, but Minnesota Gopher. This dude's 6'4", 265 pounds. He's got decent chop. He's a good run stuffer. He owns smaller linemen. So, I think when it comes to that next level, that may be a challenge, is going from those smaller linemen that he was just making look really, really bad. But he plays tall. And the problem with playing tall is you're exposing that chest. And there's actually a top pick that plays really tall. He plays really tall, but he chops downward. I'm talking about Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden plays extremely tall, but he grabs the top of the shoulder pads and then chops downward. But look at his tape. It's fun to watch him do that move, but at the same time, he's going to have that same success in the next level. He's going to have to learn a couple more moves for his repertoire. Put him in that portfolio there. So like I said, Boy Mafi's got decent chop. He's a good run stuffer. He owns smaller linemen. He had 15 sacks while he was in college and 3 forced fumbles, but 7 of those sacks came in this year, 2021. So he had hands, C+, persistence, A, feet, C, and then as far as the burst, he had a B. This is kind of like the back of the list right here. I'm not going to number, like outside of the top 3 ones, I'm not going to number those guys, but I do think they bring a lot to the table as far as what they can offer for the Baltimore Ravens. Then when it comes to, I think we talked about Arnold Ebike. I don't know how to spell his name or how to say his name. That's the Penn State guy. We already talked about him. Let's go to Nick Bonito. Let's see what you got here. So we're talking, Big Red says, yeah, my sisters go to UConn, said he looks impressive at the games. Okay. So you're talking about the defensive lineman Travis Jones. Yes. So... yeah, hey guys, love this chat. Hey Tanja, how's it going? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Next, let's talk about Nick Bonito. So he's out of Oklahoma. This dude is 6'3", 235 pounds. Good awareness. He's got good bend, very versatile. I think as far as weakness, he needs to just get a little better setup. Sometimes you have to work on the setup of moves before you get through, because sometimes you just If you're just trying to power rush, sure, you can power rush your way through college. But you don't have any of those finesse moves in your repertoire, especially as an edge rusher, you're not going to get there. It takes a little bit more than just power to get you on in a Pro Bowl or get you recognized for being a star when it comes to this next level. Don C says, I'm alive. Tanja, I'm alive. Okay, hey, I'm glad you're alive, Don C. I appreciate you. If you're alive, let's just see, prove it to me. Go ahead and hit that like button for me. So, yeah, appreciate you. All right. So, next, like I said, Nick Bonito. He had, as far as his bend, I gave him an A+. Excuse me, an A on the bend. He's very, very good with the bend. As far as those hands, like I said, the hand fight, sometimes you got to be that martial arts expert to be able to take care of business with the hands. So I gave him a B- on that. He's just a little bit more learning on that there. I got to get technical with the words there. As far as his persistence, got him as an A. Feet, B-, and burst. He has a little bit of burst, but I can see definitely working on those moves there. Let's move forward to Drake Jackson. But before we do, let's see what Big Reg had to say. Can't wait for the combine to see how these guys test out and if they match what they put on tape. You know what? One thing I like about the combine is people can't lie on their 40s again. Last year, everybody ran a 4.3. I'm talking about defensive tackles claiming that they ran 4.3. And every single wide receiver said they ran sub 4.3. And we saw it when it came to the tape in the NFL that they all were lying. They was lying. Ain't nobody running 4.3. 4.3 is an elite speed. And people were talking about they were running 4.3. There are some fast guys coming out of the draft, but they were not running 4.3. And the pro days, I guess the clock was all jacked up. Combine is going to set all of that straight because you'll be able to see consistency across the board of what they really can run. And they're just probably going to take those 4.3 or 4.3 times that they run in pro days and tossing them out. Everybody needs to stop lying. You ain't that fast. But. All right, so here it is. I've been off YouTube for a while, working all the time. Well, welcome back to YouTube. I appreciate you coming through, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Thank you for coming. Anyway, we are moving on to Drake Jackson out of USC. This dude is 6'4", 255 pounds. He's got great awareness. I definitely like how, when it comes to bend, you have to be able to get under. And this is where he excels. He's a good run stuffer. This is another guy who will take your lunch money. I think we talked about this. Good run stuffer, has some good bend. I gave him an A on bend because of the leverage that you're able to create when you're able to get under there. And then as far as his hands, you got to have good moves, good hand moves. You can't just be running with your hands low because then it exposes your chest. So he's good. Persistence, I gave him a B+. B+, and he keeps driving through contacts. I love that about him. He had 5 sacks in 2021. I think we talked about Ajobo already. We talked about Caroliftis. Let's just go over to the bread and butter. Y'all probably been waiting on these all day. Anyway, Big Red says, yeah, everybody just trying to push up their draft stock. Okay, so yeah, I can see that. The more media that gets out about these guys, the better it is for them. I'm wishing, I'm hoping and wishing for a lot of them to be able to get their shine on. It's sometimes there's just a few of them that just get missed, and they end up sliding out the back of the draft, and that's where the Ravens, they excel because they pick those undrafted free agents, and we'll go into a couple of those a little bit later on, closer to the draft. We'll talk about some just gems that are going to get missed after the combine. You know how the combine will stack and up their stats a bit, but then there's those who just get missed because the tape speaks louder, but the combine, sometimes it overrules a lot. I mean, we've seen that with Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy's tape, it screamed, hey, I'm a pro. You got to trust in me. I should be a top pick. And then when it came to his combine numbers, they weren't so great. Combine has a good side and a bad side. When it comes to quarterbacks, they're working with receivers they never worked with before. And so this is an opportunity for shine for wide receivers, but also some things get exposed with the quarterbacks. And you kind of get a little upset. The receivers up their draft stock, but quarterbacks lower their draft stock because of what they see there. That's when owners and GMs, the war rooms, they really just got to go back to the tape and trust what they see on the tape. All right, so anyway, back to the creme de la creme when it comes to our edge. Kayvon Thibodeaux. Or is it Thibodeaux? Kayvon Thibodeaux out of Oregon, 6'5", 260 pounds. Look, this is one of those guys you cannot disrespect with the tight end. You can't do it. It's just like putting Judon against a tight end. Judon going to own that tight end all day long. Now, when it comes to a left tackle or like that, maybe not so much. He excelled very well in the new system in New England, but In Baltimore, he ate tight ends lunch, and I think Kayvon Thibodeau would be able to eat outside linebackers. Or excuse me, be able to eat tight ends lunch as well. So, like I said, don't disrespect him with a tight end. Very disruptive. He breaks down when it comes to tackling. That's very, very important. Sometimes when you got these mobile quarterbacks, like let's say, I don't know, somebody over here, you have to break it down. You can't sit there and just shoot and hope that you can catch a shoelace because they will embarrass the heck out of you. He fights through the trash against the run. That's definitely what you need when it comes to Baltimore, as somebody who is not going to get wrapped up when it comes to tackling a Derrick Henry. Make sure they don't get caught in the trash. You got to be able to push through. This is one of those guys. He's got decent bend, very long arms, good chop. I saw that a lot of chop with his leverage, whether it be going down or coming up. And then you had A+ when it comes to his persistence, and then a B+ when it came to his feet. He had a good step, good jukes. He was able to set things up. And then it came to his burst and power. Man, just amazing. I gave him an A on that. 19 sacks in college, 3 forced fumbles. He had 35 tackles for loss and 126 total tackles. So dude was doing his thing. Adit says, case in point, Orlando Brown Jr. after the combine, he fell to the third. So yes, when it comes to offensive tackles, you never know what's going to happen because when they fall down, it's sometimes it's money because other people have been doing their research and they turn out okay. And I think he did okay in Baltimore as a left tackle. He made a Pro Bowl in Kansas City. But some people kind of gave him a lot of crap. I still feel like Orlando Brown Jr. is a solid tackle, whether it be left or right. He's going to catch a lot of heck from haters on the social media simply because he didn't want to be here anymore because he wanted to be a left tackle. Maybe that was a mistake. I mean, this year we needed offensive linemen, so it could have been. Anyway, back over here, we are at the top of the list. The top guy here, you already know it, and I think we benefited from getting that defensive coordinator. It's Aiden Hutchinson. This dude is 6'6", 265 pounds. He's got the choppy feet, but he keeps them moving. He lines up everywhere. I'm talking 0 all the way to 9 technique. I don't know what was going on with McDonald when he was in college with him, but he had him lining up in the middle at D tackle, and then next thing you know, you see him at the 9. I'm like, what is happening here? He's effective no matter where he's at. He's got good awareness. He bats down passes, breaks up plays, just full on disruptive, works outside to in when he's in the 9 tech, and it's just very effective. His 0 tech, like I said, his bend. I did say, okay, he had some issues with some bend, but it's because he's so tall. He lines up tall, and this dude, like I said, he's chopping downward everything. He's great. He's great as far as his hands because he's worried about more of his hand movement when he's coming across so tall, and he benefits because of those hands. As far as his P, his persistence, he is relentless when it comes to persistence. As far as his feet, footwork, good setup. Like I said, very choppy, but is able to keep those feet moving forward and being able to set up his plays. It's like a wide receiver on the line when it comes to Aiden Hutchinson because he's just like very good with his feet and doing the jukes and all that. I mean, it's just like watching magic right there when it comes to his feet because dude is able to benefit off of those feet and be able to chop downward. I still think, honestly, the next level, I just don't know if that's going to work. Because it is the next level of play, and players are recognizing, like, hey, if you expose your chest to me, I'm going to take advantage of you. But he has that good setup, and he's got great burst. I am excited about Aiden Hutchinson and whoever is going to get this player because if he goes into a 4-3 system, he's going to eat all day long. In our system, I'm hoping that he would be successful as well, but I don't see him actually falling to Baltimore. Some quick questions here. How does Aiden Hutchinson compare to Karoftis? Both could be used in a similar way in a Mike McDonald system. That's the thing, though. It's not going to be a Mike McDonald system. This is more of a John Harbaugh system. Y'all see how the traditional 3-4 works. We're going to have those 3 down linemen. We're going to have more outside linebackers out there on the field. I don't know why we rock with that system, but it has worked for years, and I think that's what Baltimore is going to continue to rock with. We may see some of that 4-3 pop out there, but not that much. And you've seen how our outside linebackers, they just don't benefit as much in this system as they would when they go to other places. Is that a stubborn thing about Harbaugh and the Ravens system? Maybe. I don't know. But I'd be curious to see what a 4-3 looks like here versus a 3-4. All right, Iron Addict says, honestly, we should not have paid Stanley. He was already hurt. He was already always hurt. Orlando Brown was our ticket. The way he knew Lamar and did right by him was available every Sunday. I don't think Orlando Brown Jr. has been signed to a contract. He swallows a little bit of pride. He can come over here and be back with us and help solidify that line. That would be nice. But I just don't think Baltimore will be able to afford him. If they do, it's going to take away from a few other positions that they're trying to fill in that line. Plus, we have so many other players that we haven't seen step on the field yet, according to Eric DeCosta. He's saying that he wants to see those guys get a chance. And I'm talking about our guy, Juwan James. I feel like he hasn't got an opportunity to get his shine on. I'm talking about JJ. Let's see here. I thought I had his name in here. Talked about him before in a few other shows. Let's see. When I was referring to, sorry, I just got to go way back here because we were talking about, Jared Jones-Smith out of Pittsburgh, 6'7", 345 pounds. I want to see that guy be able to get his chance out there on the outside. And then there's David Sharp. David Sharp, 6'6", 343 pounds. We actually did get to see him. He's a big, chubby guy, but he did very well when he came in the Packers game after Tyree Phillips when he went down because McCarr was out. So those are guys that are really going to help this line out, and they come to camp, they're going to get an opportunity to shine. But like I said, we got so much to go through in the draft, so many positions that need to be filled in. Offensive line is going to definitely be one of those, and if we bring another guy into camp to compete, that would be sweet. But defensive line is probably where it's going to be at right now because we have a lot of old guys going outside the door. We need that Mike. We need a safety. We need a corner. I think the positions we're safe at is the ones that everybody keeps thinking we're going to draft. We're not going after a wide receiver. We're good on tight end. Don't need a quarterback. I think we're fine at running back because those guys are going to come back healthy. It's going to be nice. But I think Aaron has something else to say here. Honestly, we shouldn't have paid Stanley. Okay, I see that already. Don C. says, do we take Linderbaum, Trevor Penny, or defensive trenches? So let's just talk about those guys real quick. So when it comes to Linderbaum, he was more of a guards or / center. He's fast. He's got strong hands. He can handle the double teams and bull rush, but he has short arms. But some of the best players out there have had shorter arms. If you're a guard and a center, doesn't really matter because you're just catching the inside trash anyway. He's quick out of his stance, and he reaches the second level pretty quickly. And then there's Trevor Penny. So Trevor Penny, North Iowa, 6'7", 321 pounds. He's one of the best protectors in the conference. He's getting vertical in the run game. He's very nasty, physical player. Bend issues due to height. Like I said, with that height, when you're sitting there at that height, it's hard to get that bend in to get that leverage that you need. Let's see. He struggles with lateral movement and bends to the inside. So if somebody's running a stunt, he's not going to be that guy to be able to stop those things. So I don't know if Penny would be the guy for Baltimore. Let's see. You don't see us taking a center at 14. Who knows? The thing about Eric DeCosta and Ozzie Newsome, they like to, make sure we fill a lot of the holes in free agency with cheap picks to make sure that, they're cheap, they're viable options, decent to make us look like, hey, we can actually take the best player available in the draft. And I think if Linderbaum is there, it's an option. It is an option. Bozeman is not exactly a lock right now, right? I think he was putting on Twitter something about how he's going to miss Baltimore. I think he's going after that payday, right? So let's see. Penny is very raw. Okay. But I think Cleveland is too. So I'd like to see what a year 2 looks like out of Cleveland. And then Big Reg is still shooting for the stars, taking Treylon Burks at 14. Boy, you hoop dreaming. You was just I don't know who sold you that dream, but go ahead and get your receipt, get your money back, because we ain't taking no wide receiver at 14, man. Get off the crazy train. You just on the crazy express. Woo-hoo. You own it, man. It's okay, though. It's okay. If somebody reach out, give Big Reg a hug right quick. All right. So Sharp looked good. I was talking about past tense because those guys are new. Yeah, I want to see what Sharp looks like in year 2. It says, I want Icky and or Sauce. No way he'll be available. I want Sauce. I want Sauce. No doubt. Look, Sauce is there. Sauce is a Raven. let's just be clear about that. I can't wait to look at a couple of the mock drafts, a couple more of those just to see how things go. I want to see a couple of your mock drafts. maybe you can leave a couple in the comments, or maybe you can leave a couple on Twitter. Find me at AlfieJL or Couch Writer Raven. If you look up Couch Writer Raven on Twitter, it should be easy to find me. You may find Couch Writer Raven Burner. Yeah, that's me as well. I'm just going to expose myself. I am the Couch Writer Raven Burner as well. Just having a little fun with that other profile. I thought maybe I throw a little bit more shade on that one than I do on the Couch Writer Raven one. Anywho, let's see. Trevor Penny led D1 in penalties committed last year. And that's the thing. When it comes to guys, when it comes to that size, when you're that size and you don't have that type of bend, what's the first thing you do if you ain't got the bend in the footwork? You go to reaching around. You get up outside of yourself. So that might be one of Penny's weaknesses there. So we don't need any more penalties in Baltimore because you know how the refs are when it comes to the Ravens. They love to go ahead and throw the flags. They have more laundry on the field than most in the league. So just keep that in mind. Other options that we could pick up, of course, if Evan Neal is out there, which I doubt, that would be just lovely. You know, a guy 6'7", 351 pounds, but he is just first-team All-American beast. And I know I'm getting away from what I was wanting to talk about, which is the defensive line, but I'm already through all of those. So, yeah, this is kind of pretty much the end of the show. If y'all got any other questions, please, put them in the comments. But make sure you tell a friend about the show. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. I think next, let's see, Kam Ru and I may be on Wednesday to talk corners with you. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping y'all have a wonderful weekend. As far as the Super Bowl goes, we already seen that Drake has put a huge bet as far as 1.5 mil, or no, he put in $1 million on Odell Beckham, or no, 500,000 on Odell Beckham and 500,000 on the Rams to win the Super Bowl. So because of that, we can already just go ahead and put the confetti up, the black and the orange confetti, because the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl because whoever Drake usually roots for, they lose. I don't know. Like you saw what happened with us and the Tennessee Titans. He showed up in a Baltimore Ravens tracksuit and screwed everything up for the Ravens. So just keep that in mind. Every time this dude puts on the winning or puts on the other team's colors, that other team wins the game. Go look at the history of it. Drake is a curse. He's about as bad as the Tony Romo curse. Ooh, Daniel Fael. So Fael, so he had an up and down senior bowl. Yeah, it wasn't that great. So 1 second he's making huge plays, pushing people back. Next thing he's getting rolled over. Ozzie Newsome liked him. Not Ozzie Newsome, excuse me. Eric DaCosta liked him. He had some notes to say, but he also said, make sure we call our parents. He said the important things. Fael, I'd like to see him there. Want to do some more tape study on this guy, but I just think he was up and down. Is it Fael? Fael. Pause. I'm not sure what the pause is about. Hey, he was up and down. I don't know what I probably said something. Look, sometimes I say some things and they just get taken out of context, whatever. Just don't record them and put them on your Twitter and expose me, please. But if you do, at least just put hey, tag me in it. Just that way they can subscribe to the channel or something and have some fun with it. Anywho, this is the home of original sports perspective from our couch to yours. I'm your couch writer, Raven, your host. Please make sure you hit the like. Like I said, we got 11 people in the room. I should at least have 11 likes on the video. I appreciate y'all coming through. Next time, maybe actually we're doing middle linebackers. My bad. We're doing middle linebackers this Wednesday. So look forward to seeing Kam Ru and myself back the next time we come through. I appreciate all y'all coming through. Much love to each and every one of you. Like I said, share this with your friends and family, and just make sure y'all come back through. Appreciate you. Y'all take care. 2 claps. Fade to black.